Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you here. We got the Fed, Caitlin Long. We got the President of the United States. And as the chokehold tightens and the crypto witch hunt begins, we're going to talk about Circle, Ripple, Coinbase. We're going to hear from Michael S. Barr, former Ripple advisor. And there's a geopolitical situation developing here. We can't forget to see the big picture. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.06 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. It's up by 8.6% right now. Bitcoin, 22,900 plus. Ethereum is 1636. Tether is sitting at 74.2 billion right now, unaffected so far by everything we've seen going in through the weekend. XRP is 37 cents. It's up 4.3 on the 24-hour. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. It's Uphold. Why is Uphold different? Listen, I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't even need to go to the next screen. It's because you can get anything to anything. It is a platform that is plugged into 32 different exchanges to be able to source the liquidity needs for what you want to do. I tell you something, it is my favorite platform. And I tell you something else. With all the stuff we've seen going on over the weekend, I tell you what, I'm feeling better about the crypto that I'm holding, but I know that that's not for everybody in the market. This is scary times. I'm not trying to make light or be dismissive of it, but Uphold is my home for altcoins and all things crypto. I can tell you that. And private equity, because I can get that through Uphold Wallet too. Make sure you check it out. Click the link below. Crypto exchange Coinbase, crypto lender Celsius, and stablecoin issuer Paxos are among the crypto firms with funds reportedly tied with the now shuttered Signature Bank. And we know that that list goes on and on and on. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. I can guarantee you that. And this right here I wanted to share with you after a joint statement from the Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, FDIC declared that all depositors of now shuttered Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank will be able to get their funds on Monday. The battered crypto market turned green, and that's why I believe we're seeing such a response in the market this morning. The Federal Reserve has established a funding program for banks, making $25 billion available to eligible firms in a bid to avoid further banking liquidity issues. I tell you right now, I think XRP Plug has it right down here. $25 billion is too small. I think it is. I really do. This is Caitlin Long from Custodia Bank, and the truth is all she wanted to do was open a bank that doesn't do fractional reserve lending. That's all. That's really all she wanted to do. And the Fed wouldn't have it. Well, here Nick Carter says that when I warned about choke point a month ago, I didn't think a million years that they would go 100 times further and actually take down the top 3 crypto-facing banks. It's breathtaking. And this wasn't an accident. It was a demolition. Absolutely. And I told you about the witch hunt, the crypto witch hunt that would come from Senator Warren. And I told you about the fact that the right side of the aisle, screaming there's a new day coming, aren't doing a damn thing. Political posturing is not taking action. So for anybody out there that thinks one side's better than the other, I beg to differ. What's best for the people has not been happening. What's best for the governments and the legacy firms that are already in place seems to be going according to plan, however. Caitlin Long says here, I knew it, Nick Carter. There's a lot I haven't disclosed yet, but it might all become clear later this week. The White House, the Fed Board of Governors, Kansas City Fed, Senator Dick Durbin, all coordinated to take Custodian Bank down. I'm telling you right now, there's more to come. Caitlin is not messing around, and I can't wait to hear what she's got to tell us all. John Deaton picks up on it here, too, and he says, we don't live in a free market system. We live in a system wherein government officials choose who wins. And that's what you just saw this weekend, right? They came in. You saw the downgrading of Moody's in order to put the bank upside down. Once the banks were upside down, they come in and make it look like they're rescuing them. They're the heroes. They're also ones that caused it. Just like the lack of Congress's actions on both sides of the aisle has allowed Gary Gensler to come out here and to use regulation by enforcement, which is absolutely zero clarity. There could be a one-page bullet point list of what you need to do to be in compliance, and there is none. They can't even agree on how to regulate from within inside the SEC itself. I cite Hester Peirce from that. Then there's this guy. This is the president right here. I want you to take a listen.
Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe.
And anytime the Fed has to come in and bail out the banking system, which they actually forced to collapse on by downgrading the bonds and treasuries of the Moody's rating, nevertheless, it's safe, they said. I think a more accurate statement would simply be, we are in the process of taking control of this sector of the economy and industry. Bear with us while we make the final things we put in place. That's what I see. I swear to God, that's what I see happening right here.
Thank you. God bless you, and may God protect our troops. See you in California.
Mr. President, what do you know right now about why this happened? And can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect?
Do you expect other banks to fail, Mr. President?
Should all depositors be protected at all banks?
Wow. So there you go. You know what I mean? It's just like, they're going to do what they're going to do, right? Right in your face, they're going to do what they're going to do. Then I want you to listen to Jamie Dimon here. Boy, I tell you what. Just listen to what he says.
Only value of a Bitcoin is what the other guy will pay for it. And I think, honestly, I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin, a lot of the buyers out there are up there jazzing it up every day so that maybe you'll buy it too and take them out. And I quite mean that, by the way. You know, these people are very good at manipulating the press these days and getting news out. And so every day, you have CNBC, nonstop Bitcoin. Who cares about Bitcoin? I mean, the world's economy is so big. We move, JP Morgan alone, these companies, $6 trillion. We move all this money. And Bitcoin in total is 50, all these currencies are $50 billion, maybe $1 billion trades a day. And the other thing I've always made of Bitcoin, governments, and this is not a technological statement, governments are going to crush it one day. Governments like to know where the money is, who has it, and what you're doing with it. And in case you haven't noticed, okay? And governments like to control their currency.
Mm-hmm. That's about right. It's one of the few times I think Jamie Dimon's actually just sat down and told the truth. Oh, goodness. When I see this and I hear what he's saying here, now you got to remember it takes one to know one also, right? JP Morgan has been caught manipulating the metals market. They got caught manipulating the U.S. Treasury bond market. For God's sakes. Takes one to know one. Well, here comes the crypto witch hunt. We start with Barney Frank. He sees crypto as a common element in new bank failures. Did we not say that this is exactly the narrative that would be adopted right here? We've been saying it, I don't know for how long. For God's sakes, ever since Elizabeth Warren's come out and started talking about it and posturing herself for what's going to go down. This is why I feel like the entire Congress is complicit in how they're going to do this. They may take talking points and stand up and say, we're not going to go for any of this. There's nobody doing anything to stop what's happening here. They're going to roll the majority of cryptocurrencies into a digital asset securities framework. And the securities framework has existed for decades. And it is already adopted around the world, accepted in the U.S. They know how to do it. Everybody's got the infrastructure. And that's why. And you know what? Here's another good fact. I don't like the SEC's approach or Gary Gensler's approach to the market and the industry. But however, I cannot argue the fact that there's a good majority of these tokens out here that are, in fact, digital asset securities. I just don't agree with how the SEC is going about doing it. However, coming back to Jeremy Hogan's tweet, shout out to him, tie a regulatory stone to the bank and throw it in the water. If it drowns, we were right, and crypto was the problem. If it floats, well, it never floats. Oh, goodness, it's so true. And then we got it right here. Susan Friedman, head of Ripple Policy, shares this. Senator Warren decrees a system that steps in oversight to ensure that billion-dollar crypto firms won't lose a dime in deposits. But there is no doubt that had government not stepped in, many businesses, not just crypto, would have been devastated. Which is true. But none of it acknowledges the downgraded the Moody ratings that kicked all this off. They knew what they were going to do when they did that, right? However, to Susan Friedman's point, and a point that bears repeating, crypto is a legal industry within the United States and globally that deserves to be banked. And it will be. But it's going to be under some new terms, ladies and gentlemen. You better get ready. And people see this, and I don't know what they think, but I know what I think. I see this as a real opportunity to bring these entities together in a more deeper way, right? And certainly what the space will probably start to look like after we see a little more regulation and certainly legislation at some point. Jeremy Allaire said Circle's USDC operations will open for business on Monday morning, including with a new automated settlement via our partnership with Cross River Bank. But don't forget Cross River Bank to integrate Ripple and real-time international payments. That was some time ago, but nevertheless, you see the connections here. Cross River Bank is Circle's USDC new partner for automated settlements. Not too long ago, Cross River integrated Ripple for that exact same thing. There you can see evidence of that too. Now let's take a look at this. This is Michael S. Barr. I want you to hear here what he says about stable coins are really like money market funds with payment rails, which makes them explosive. And then he talks about the fact that there needs to be prudential regulation. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Take a listen.
You can have very large forms of private money that end up being quite destabilizing. You can think of a stablecoin as a completely unregulated money market fund attached to a payments rail, and that combination is quite explosive, potentially quite dangerous, and that's why Chair Powell has made this clear. Vice Chair Brainerd, when she was at the Fed, made this clear. I've made it clear that stablecoins really do need to have prudential oversight, prudential supervision.
And I don't think that's the only thing. I think it's clear from the moves that went on this weekend that it's obvious that the government and the legacy firms also believe and are working towards doing the same thing for the entire crypto space. Look, I don't have a problem with regulation. I have a problem with the way they're going about it. The fact that you play games like this and manipulate the system in order to create these illusions of, oh, it was never safe to begin with. Fractional lending as a bank is not safe. If you want to have a conversation about what's not safe, let's have a conversation about that, because that's really how we got here, and every bank does it. So if they want to fix something, fix that, right? But we got bigger issues. We can't forget about the geopolitical environment and what it could mean and implication-wise for the U.S. dollar and the global economy. Say it here with Dan Popescu here. Say what he says here. Popescu, excuse me. Look here. Say with a straight face that Russia is isolated. You have BRICS, OPEC, most South Central America, most Africa support Russia. It became evident to me that Russia was not isolated in March of 2022. Well, me as well. And I say, while the bank runs begin here in the United States, don't forget Russia is not isolated, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, they have built a new payment system and infrastructure for themselves, China, and the BRICS coalition, which is expanding rapidly. Saudi Arabia and several other countries are soon to join. What is so isolated about half the world's population and a majority of the world's resources being connected without the U.S.? I'll wait. Again, worth repeating. Saudis are cooking up something big that I don't think America will like. Pay attention. Look, you know, they have leaned in. They have a $15 billion MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the BRICS coalition. I don't think Saudi Arabia gets to do that without the U.S. being aware of it, obviously, and certainly having some say in whether they do it or not, because, you know, the petro agreement isn't just a petro agreement. It's like, look, I'm going to give you military support if you need it. I'm going to be your ally, right? All these things play into this. You don't do these things without your ally saying that you can do these things. Something is afoot here. And don't forget, while all of that is going on, domestically and globally, Ripple versus SEC lawsuit could end before March 31st this month. Not saying it will, but it could. That's our news for today. Head on a swivel. It's crypto you never know. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Check out all the links underneath the video in the comment section. They are great products and services I use each and every day. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.